You are now tuning into the Partynerdz Weekend Hangover.
What's going on, everybody? This is a Partynerdz Weekend Hangover. I'd like to welcome everybody. My name is James Grandmaster Facts Voice. This is Jorge Vergara.
Hey, what's going on?
All right, we are here to talk about Black Adam.
Wow, we're talking about DC? I thought everyone criticizes us for being Marvel fanboys.
Hey, look, an unsurprising fact is the fact that we, more than anything, want DC to win. You know what I'm saying? So it's just unbeknownst to us that DC has not put out the best foot forward as far as their movies are concerned. So I went into this movie with low expectations.
What do you mean low expectations? You mean like we expect a storyline, good what?
That's what I'm saying. I did not expect a great plot. I did not expect a storyline. I just expected to be entertained. And I gotta say, I was entertained. I look at DC movies now. I have to go in like kind of like how I went into King Kong versus Godzilla. All I'm going to basically be there for is the fight scenes and the action. That's pretty much because they're OP characters. So what's going to be the biggest thing that's going to separate the two? It's not this integral plot or connection to other movies, or better yet, like Easter eggs or anything like that. I just know going into the movie, for somebody like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who's been attached to Black Adam for 15 years.
How is that even, like, what were they thinking? I mean, like, because he's older now. Did they think ahead? You know, I don't know. Maybe staring.
What I think more so than anything, You think, what you think of the steroids? Like,
yeah, for 15 years, getting ready for Black Adam.
No, I think it was due to the fact that the regime that was a part of DC for this entire period of time, where they wanted to have some type of interconnected universe and wanted to have like all these pieces in play. Pretty much the resolve of that, you had to bring in Superman at some point in time. You had to add a Batman, you had to add a Flash, had to add a Wonder Woman. And they just did not know what to do with Black Adam. They did all these Joker movies and everything like that. They did interconnectivity with certain pieces, universes. And then it was just like Shazam comes out and it's like, oh, okay, now it's kind of like the time to introduce Black Adam because we've kind of given the origin story here. So it's like, so then like was it The Rock executive produced Shazam?
Oh shit. Okay, so he was already slowly creeping up.
Right. So it was like, okay, if Shazam's not necessarily a piece of like the Justice League or any of those storylines whatsoever, it's kind of like, okay, if we place Shazam over here and Shazam does well, which it did. Shazam did not like do like box office smash, but it did enough to basically be like, okay, so on and so forth. We permit that there's going to be a sequel to this. And it turned out to be really good. It was a fun-loving movie. It was a family movie, and it was the right step forward. And then that post-credit scene in Shazam gave us the opportunity to introduce Black Adam.
Shazam, formerly known as Captain Marvel.
What? That's a good way. It's a good way of putting it, man. But the thing is, we start this, of course, with the history of an Egyptian conqueror, Teth Adam, and his son, of course, overtaking a regime from the evil crown of Sabak, who turns out to be the big villain in this movie. So like it's more so that his son started a revolution. His son ended up dying because of starting that revolution. And when the Council of Wizards powers were passed on to Adam, they kind of like gave it to the wrong person. And essentially it wasn't, they kind of like skewed that even a little bit, because it was like everybody knows that Shazam was a portion of the sixth throne Council of Wizards. and that he was given his powers from that same wizard, like Jaimin Hantu in Shazam. But in this terms, it was like it got passed to him from his son. And then because he was already in a rage because his son was executed, he goes into like fucking ape shit, like Black Adam kills. That's the one thing. Like he's this OP character and he will murk you.
Wow.
So that's one thing about a lot of DC characters that I highly expect. The one thing about DC Comics in general is that they will murder you. Like you will get murdered if you're like a superhero in one of their movies and everything. They have some really gruesome, powerful deaths in DC Comics.
Wait, what about Batman? He knocks somebody out with one punch and then sends him to the slammer. What do you explain about that?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We understand that Batman is human. Like he's not supposed to. He's supposed to be the one that does not kill. You know, so like him throwing somebody into jail and everything. He's the only one with like this moral compass. But the other OP characters and everything have the ability to kill you. Like come on, Man of Steel 1, Superman killed the villain in the end. Like it wasn't like I'm taking Joker to jail. No, I'm snapping General Zod's neck. You know, so it's I'm not going to say it's a good direction because I would like for a lot more plot and storyline. But I expect it to be entertaining. Like I've never seen a Rock movie where I was like, wow, this has some extreme dialogue and the script is fucking amazing. No, I just expect him to like punch people, flex with like a goddamn beige button-up jungle t-shirt like he does in every.
It's basically an old school superhero movie.
It's an old school superhero movie where you expect him to destroy the villain at the end. Nice. Yeah. But in the meantime, like all right, I won't say that there's total inconnectivity because it's turning out now that DC has now turned into the Amanda Wallerverse. She's in every movie now. So you have like Amanda, like literally in the opening sequences when Black Adam like reveals himself, like the first person to jump on board is like Amanda Waller. Like, man, I really need that guy, and I gotta contain him. Yep. I was like, so like, you know, she got the Suicide Squad. She's always thinking like 4 steps ahead. She was in the Peacemaker show.
She's like a Nick Fury.
Yeah, she's basically like Amanda Waller is everywhere. Yeah. And it seems like, I mean, she's only showing up in like these holograms and speaking to a lot of the characters through like telecommunications or anything like that. But it's like, regardless of the canon, whether it's Justice League, whether it's prior to it, the first Suicide Squad, which was the David Ayers movie, to the James Gunn side, she's everywhere. And Viola Davis is like, there has been the one pivotal connectivity point in all these movies.
Oh wow!
But better than that, she recruits the Justice Society of America. So the JSA, of course, makes their debut.
JSA, what the fuck? Where's the originality in that compared to the other company, Marvel?
Well, that's the thing. It's like the Justice Society has been around for like eons.
What do you mean? When did they come out?
Well, Dr. Fate was 1940s.
Wow. Wait, you know, before the Avengers or?
Dr. Fate came out in 1940. Doctor Strange came out in the 1960s. And even so, like if you want to compare like Hawkman's character has been out since the 1940s.
So you're saying since they've been out before, they're the first super team assembled?
Before the Justice League, yes. Before the Justice League, yes. Because all the pieces were there. That's why like Flash is kind of like this intergenerational character, because as you see in your background, the first iteration of Flash is right there.
Yep. You know, with a bucket with a little plate.
The worst fucking helmet possible, Wally West. You know what I'm saying? So like you have all these characters and you see how old that artwork is. Like that shit is like, that's definitely from like early time comic book time. Yeah. But the Justice Society of America in this movie steals the show. Dr. Fate is like dope as shit in this movie. Dope as hell. Pierce Brosnan, you would expect like, okay, he's the oldest character. This dude was James Bond. The one thing about Pierce Brosnan is he's going to act. And he does his job in this. Aldous Hodge was very good as Hawkman. Cyclone and Atom Smasher were kind of like, I guess, supporting pieces to this. But better than anything, there was always like these small inclinations of like certain things that you would expect from like Marvel. There was like a Quinjet. They all lived in a mansion, kind of like the X-Men. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it was like you saw that and you were like, no. Dr. Fate replicating himself. That's already been done in a movie by Doctor Strange, even though Dr. Fate does have that same ability.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, okay, everybody was thinking that these are like knockoffs of certain characters from Marvel when these characters totally supersede Avengers characters. Like they're very old standby characters. Justice Society of America is a very old team. It's probably like one of the first superhero teams that ever came out. Now, the reviews for this movie have been god awful.
Why?
Because I think people are like looking for some type of plot and
storyline, and
they're looking for like a storyline and everything like that. Like the fact that what is it? There was a there was like this Superman thing that kind of like went with it. Eternium was kind of like the mysterious metal that Adam couldn't destroy, and it was like almost like kryptonite, almost in a sense. Like it almost like it was like resembling vibranium in Marvel or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So it was like there's a certain mysterious mystical metal that is unpenetrable and everything like that. So I'm like, everybody's like looking at it like, oh, he's talking about vibranium. Like, come on.
Well, at least the fans are educated now.
Well, it's true. It's true. And more so from the movies, which I totally get. But overall, the hindsight of the movie is that I was entertained. And I feel like the people in the movie theater were entertained by what they saw. The plot point in the post-credit scene that Rock already fucking spoiled and that we talked about 2 weeks ago,
yes,
was Henry Cavill.
It will be Superman like again.
And you know what the funny thing is? It's a weird setup, because how did Amanda Waller, who created the Suicide Squad as a team to take down Superman, that was the initial goal, have Superman on speed dial?
Dude, he worked in both angles.
Right. So it's like, if Black Adam is to ever get loose, because basically it's kind of like at the end, Black Adam just basically has to be the protector of Kahndaq, and and she threatens him. Amanda Waller threatens him by basically saying that if I have to make a phone call for people other than Earth to take you down, I will. So basically, like, Amanda's like the fucking, like, she's like AT&T for fucking interplanetary conflicts. So
Nick Fury.
It's straight up Nick Fury.
Yeah.
You know, so when like Superman arrives in that post-credit scene talking about, we need to talk, and Amanda pretty much is like the link in the chain. I'm like, this is the one person that Amanda like feels as though could like destroy the entire planet is Superman. And the reason that she creates a Suicide Squad is because of Superman. There's a reason why Batman had that conflict resolution act that he had for the Justice League, because he always felt like if something happened to Superman where he ran amok, basically like the premise for Batman versus Superman.
Yep.
Same deal.
Mm-hmm.
There was like this counteraction that we would all start to fight against him.
That's just like the Civil War when Iron Man wants to have everybody in check. Dude, oh my God.
It's the same shit.
Damn.
It's the same shit. But I was like, okay, it's a good first start for the movie, and I'll take it as I was entertained, and we can move forward, because of course now, literally since that post-credit scene, Man of Steel 2 is now in development, looking for a writer.
Oh man, who do you think they're gonna get?
As a writer for a Superman?
Any leaks? Any rumors?
Nah, there wasn't any rumors of any writers taking on that role. I mean, let alone even a director. I mean, what is it going to be? The return of Zack Snyder?
Oh my God. Well, you've been really good with your prophecies. So let's start. Let's prophesize what you think the storyline is going to be, Man of Steel 2, and who the villains are.
I mean, most recently, I think Boss Logic put up one of his images where he likes to foretell the future, and he put up basically a Henry Cavill type digital image, but it was in Bizarro form. So that Bizarro would be the Man of Steel 2 villain, and to be honest, it would be a good way to go.
Yeah, but is Bizarro marketable? Does every Joe Schmo who only goes to see the theaters know Bizarro, or unlike?
Well, that's the thing. It's like at this point, it's an education factor, and they already brought General Zod, so somebody who basically came from Krypton and tried to fight Superman in the beginning. So now more so than ever, you're looking for someone who can pretty much hold toe to toe with him. You have Cyborg Superman, you got Bizarro. We talked about Lobo, Brainiac, Livewire. All these characters can basically kind of like be a central force against Superman. I would say Brainiac more than anything.
Everybody knows. I think everybody does have a little knowledge of Brainiac. Yes.
Right. I would more so say Brainiac more than anything.
Because, for example, if they want to do a Batman movie, they'll never have them team up against Hush. No one knows who the hell Hush is.
Right. Although I think that's one of the best storylines in Batman.
Of course.
Batman comic history.
Yeah.
That I feel like that storyline would be like something like Seven with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. That is just an excellent type of storyline. That's how that goes. But also in the same breath, because of everybody liking Peacemaker for what it was for HBO Max, James Gunn is now working on 1 to 2 secret movies for DC.
Oh, wow.
So with him doing the Suicide Squad, the first thing to expect is okay, Suicide Squad 2. And it's what else could he be working on in a James Gunn fashion type sense? What would be the movie to give him like the attachment that I would see is put him in a Flash movie. Do not give him Ezra Miller, but give him a Flash movie.
Yeah, but they have to do the Paradox first.
Give him the Paradox.
You think so? And they'll reset. That's basically, they need the Paradox to reset that whole shitty ass DCU timeline and all that shit.
We've talked about that for years.
Yes.
And the thing is, if the Flashpoint Paradox was actually a thing, and supposedly this Flash movie that's supposedly coming out has all these tidbits of the paradox, that's kind of like the move where they want to go. So if they're already putting out small little plot points from that particular comic book from Flashpoint Paradox, there won't be a Flashpoint Paradox movie because it'll be in this movie, The Flash.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like if you give James Gunn The Flash and just let him mold it in his own fucking thing, I think it'd be cool. And I'm pretty sure because somebody like him probably watches all the Arrowverse movies and everything, the Arrowverse shows and episodes and everything like that. He would be the one that I would think would do that. But they got to get a new actor. I mean, the fact that Ezra Miller is going to be ready for press day is beyond me.
Yeah, they definitely need a new actor. Why can't they use the guy from WB?
Yeah, Grant Gustin has been doing a great job for was it been a fucking decade?
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? Yeah, but I would say that would be the best way forward. But this ends another segment of Party Nerds Weekend Hangover. I am James Grandmaster Facts voice. This is Jorge Vergara.
That's right.
And we are